Good to be with you guys. We're excited to have everybody here. I've got some family and friends here. I feel really good for our guys to be able to get this one. I think they wanted so badly to get a home league win. And I told them, you just got to put in the preparation and the work. They did that. It certainly wasn't as clean a game as we would like, but if you've followed Seton Hall's scores and if you followed Shaheen's teams, they fight through the very end, and there's a lot of ebbs and flows in their games. You look at their most recent games, Providence was up 15 in the second half. They come back, they cut it to a one-possession game. They actually have the lead there late. So he's battling, Shaheen's battling with some injuries, so are we. Both teams kind of banged up, but was pleased with our guys' focus and ability to finish and stay with it, despite it not always being as clean as we would like it to be.
Chris, what does it mean for you to get that first home Big East win?
Well, I'm just really happy for our guys. I knew it was going to come at some point, but there's no question you'd like to get it for the people, for your fans, for everybody, and for our players. I felt like, for us, it feels good. Feels good.
Coach, how important was that 10-0, 12-0 start that you guys got out to, and how do you think it flowed you into the rest of the game?
I thought it was a good start. But they have a lot of ebbs and flows in their game, so we knew it was going to be a long 40-minute game. But it was good to come out with a good start. I thought we set some. We kind of set a tone defensively, which was what we wanted to do to start. And, we got off to a great start against UConn, terrific start against UConn, really good on the road. I thought we were as good as you could possibly be the first 10 minutes of that game. I'm not sure if we could play better. And then I thought we had a good start tonight.
Coach, NJ had another great double-double for you guys tonight, and he also played 38 minutes. Was that the plan for him, or was it kind of just how the game was flowing?
A little bit of a byproduct of injuries, Skogman being out and JJ's ankle. JJ's ankle from the UConn game just didn't feel as strong. So that was it was a byproduct of both those.
I mean, obviously you guys get the win, but just in the middle of that second half, Seton Hall went on a bit of a 7-0 or 9-0 run. Just what do you think about your team breaking the press and what you guys can do to maybe work on that as Big East play goes on?
We got to get better. Yeah, we got to get better at attacking pressure, making better decisions, meeting our passes. We had a one-day prep for this game, and we spent as much time as we could from yesterday and then at shoot-around today. But I knew we needed a lot of work on that. We do.
I asked your players this too, but Layden, you had to rely on him a lot when Connor got in some foul trouble, and he showed up in the playmaking aspect of it. How important was that down the stretch in those situations? And when you were looking at him to transfer to DePaul, his assist-to-turnover ratios at Arkansas were not nearly in the same area. Yeah. Did you see this coming when you were working on recruiting him, or is this something that he's just really come into his own? Yeah,
it's a really good question. He has the ability to play make. His paint decisions, paint reads have dramatically improved. The kid deserves a ton of credit. Layden Blacker deserves a ton of credit because his paint reads and paint decisions have really grown and improved. And I think that's a process for a young player. That's a process for a young guard. It doesn't happen overnight. And to his credit, he's done a lot of film work. He's done a lot of work in practice on reading situations and slowing down. His paint reads have gotten better. His poise with the ball has gotten better. And a byproduct is his efficiency offensively across the board is way better.
And then, Chris, as you take a look at NJ's development, how much he talked about, his biggest adjustment was just his size. How much are you just kind of proud of his development path, where he started when he first got onto campus till now? Yeah, it's a good question. I am proud of him. I think consistency is our next thing with pushing with him. Can he be consistent from practice to practice and game to game? And if you said, hey, what's one thing behind the scenes you've challenged him with? It's consistency of effort and attention to detail every day.
every day. That's, I think, the biggest next step for him. He's got the ability and the tools to grow as a player. We see that in his game. We see his game. How much has his game grown from the start of practice or from the start of the season? Dramatically. He's probably gotten better. He's probably grown as a player as much as maybe anybody in the country. But we're looking for consistency with him.
And then with Layden, he went to the locker room in the second half. He did return, but you could tell he was still hobbling around. So do you have an update there?
I have not heard yet. I haven't had a chance to get back. I was on radio and came right here. So we have a lot of injuries, a lot of ankle stuff that we got to figure out between now and when we play next.
Coach, you guys out-rebounded Seton Hall 40-27, and they're obviously one of the toughest defenses in the Big East. What did you like about the way your team impacted the glass today? You
know, some of that was their misses. One of the things, just so you guys know, what we evaluate right now is rebound percentage. Okay, so I don't ever look at total rebounds because it varies depending on how well a team shot. So we're looking at defensive rebounded percentage and offensive rebounded percentage. So when I go back here, I'll look and they'll give me numbers of defensive rebounded percentage and offensive rebounded. So how many of their misses did we get back? What percentage? We really want to get back about 72%, 73%, and we'll see. We hit that number at halftime. We'll see if that number was what we hit for the game.
And then, Chris, there were quite a few whistles in this game. As a coach, how do you kind of try to keep your composure, but also try to keep your players' composure, whether you agree with the call or not, but not letting it bleed over into the next possession?
I mean, a lot of meditation and prayer, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I need to do more meditating, apparently. It was a lot of whistles and a lot of stoppages from, clock stoppages to it just was a long game. So, honestly, Nick, it's a work in progress. Coaches get frustrated too, frustrated with calls, frustrated with stoppages, frustrated with just the tenor of the game. So, yeah, I was frustrated at times for sure, and I know our players were too.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank you.
Okay, all right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Chris.
NJ, you had a couple of successful lob finishes today. Can you kind of talk us through the process of what goes into a lob finish?
It's a tough process. Our coach wants everything with two hands, so that one hand lob today, I'm glad I made because I would have been running a lot next practice if I didn't make it. But it's just with your timing and being able to catch the ball. I've been catching lobs for a long time, so it's just a habit at this point.
CJ, I feel like you really heated up in that second half. I think it's your 8th straight game scoring double figures. How do you feel like you heated up in that second half and developed throughout the season?
I just think staying patient. My plays are going to come, and it's all about taking advantage of the opportunities I do get and playing through my teammates. So that goes to all credit through our coaching staff and my teammates for setting me up to make the right plays.
Last time you played Seton Hall on the road, it was a tough overtime loss. How did you approach this game differently to have a much different result?
I just think we wanted it more than they did. Last game we came up short, obviously, in overtime. So we came into this game knowing that it was going to be a dogfight, and whoever wanted more and whoever's willing to be more physical is going to come out on top.
Guys, obviously, this is for both of you. Obviously, like the last few years, you guys haven't been here, but this was DePaul's first home Big East win in over 2 years. What does it mean for you guys to be able to get that last monkey off your back and be able to show the home crowd you guys can win in the Big East?
It feels good, especially like we just talked about being at Seton Hall and kind of blowing that game, being able to get them at home. And I didn't even actually know that, but for Coach Holtmann and all our staff, it felt really good.
It felt great. Not just good, boy.
And then, CJ, down the stretch, you were grabbing a lot of tough rebounds that you haven't really gotten throughout the season. Just as you've talked about, obviously, Coach has been putting you in a position to get more rebounds. How do you feel like you've kind of attacked the glass over the last couple of months?
Really aggressive. I'm 6'7", and I have length, so just going to the offensive and the defensive glass, it not only stops the team from having a secondary shot, but I can also lead the break and get in transition and lead to fast buckets. So
6'7.5",
maybe even 6'8".
NJ, can you talk a little bit about where you felt you've got better from today to where you were at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten a lot better. All glory to God first. with that. But my coaching staff has been on me about just being patient and learning how to play in the Big East. I mean, over time, I just feel like gradually I keep working and practicing and getting more shots up, and I'll be able to get better every day.
What's the biggest adjustment that you've had to make to your game adjusting to Big East play?
I think it's size for me, because undersized for a big, like everybody we're playing against, not really Seton Hall, but everybody else has 6'10", 7 foot. So just being able to take my time and be patient. Like I think I had a couple skip passes, being able to open that up for my teammates rather than going to score, where I could do that in the Valley, being smaller.
And then CJ, Connor threw you some full court heaves when he was practically on the ground. Were you expecting to even get the ball at that point?
Yeah, so when we were practicing, we knew that Seton Hall tended to push up the floor and leave that backside empty. So I don't even think on the second one he saw me. I just think he launched it, and it was my job to go get it, and we did.
Guys, Jacob Meyer, Isaiah Rivera, both in double figures today after kind of struggling to open the first half of Big East play. Just for you guys, what did it mean to be able to see them both doing well after kind of going through a little bit of a slump?
It means a lot, for them, for not only for them, but for the team. They can contribute so much to this team. And the energy they bring when they come into the game is unmatched. So now that they're really pulling along, we're a dangerous team.
Connor got in some foul trouble earlier in this game, so Layden did a lot of the playmaking in late first half, early second half. What was it like adjusting to that? And he had 7 rebounds, 7 assists. So he had a great game himself. What's it like having him in as sort of a contrast to Connor and having 2 guards that can play make like that?
I just think it's y'all's first time seeing it out in the game, but we experience this every day in practice. We see the work Layton puts in every day, and we know what he's capable of. So today was no shock to us. He just did what Layton does.
Anything else for the players? All right, thank you, everyone.
Appreciate you.